Hey everyone, welcome to Cooking with Type Diabetes. My name is Mystery. Today we're going to be making a Brazilian tofu stew. Sounds exciting, right? Generally, this recipe is made with fish, so for those of you at home, feel free to add your favorite fish. I personally would recommend a nice piece of filet, but if you're anything like my uncles, you're going to want a nice whole snapper with the bones in there as well. Your choice. But let's get into it. Oh, before we get into it, peep the apron. It's an African designed apron, locally made in London, Ontario by Nancy. Her information is down below. It's African style. Check her out if you'd like to purchase your very own. She also makes matching for you and that special person in your life, or those of you who are going to be participating in our portion control training. We are raffling one of these bad boys every month. Stay tuned. But yes, let's get into the recipe. So for today, like I mentioned, we're going to be using tofu. Now, if you're tired of tofu, I found something really interesting at the grocery store. It's tempeh, and it's also very high in protein and fiber, just like the tofu. So if you're tired of tofu, check out tempeh. I didn't know they sold them at your local grocery stores. If you're tired of both tofu and tempeh, feel free to use large mushrooms in this recipe. So what are you gonna need? You're going to need 2 tomatoes, however you pronounce them. You're also gonna be needing 2 lemon. We're gonna be using lemon to marinade. Because I like colors in my cooking, I have decided to use a red bell pepper and an orange bell pepper. You're gonna be needing 4 cloves of garlic. Like I said, I like color, so I've decided to use a purple onion. As you can see, I've already diced them up. The recipe calls for 300 grams of tofu. Now, if you're anything like me and you're old school cook, we just kind of eyeball it, right? So this is my eyeball guesstimation of 300 grams. I let the ancestors tell me, when to stop, especially when I'm seasoning. So before we get into combining all these flavorful ingredients, and I forgot, you are going to need cilantro, better known as coriander. I learned that today, and 3/4 cups of coconut milk. I'm not advertising for anybody, but just so you know, I use today Cool Runnings coconut milk. Our seasoning, of course, courtesy the amazing Epicure. If you don't have an Epicure rep, we have one. We got you here at Type Diabetes. Her information will be in the link below. So let's get into it. I have already went ahead and marinated the tofu, okay? You're going to cut them up into slices, cubes of what would have been fish. So I kind of sliced them horizontally just to give it the idea that I'm having a fish fillet. And then you're going to use your lemon. You're going to squeeze the juice into your tofu. You're also going to season it with a pinch of salt. I like flavor. I'm adventurous. I used a garlic and salt combination, a little bit of black pepper, and I threw 2 cloves of garlic in there. So you let this marinate for about 10 to 15 minutes, I would say. We've had ours marinated for about 20 minutes. The recipe also calls for a tablespoon of olive oil, but I'm going to use coconut oil because I'm fancy like that. And the recipe also doesn't talk about frying the tofu, but I'm going to fry the tofu just because, let's say you're actually using a piece of fish fillet. I like to have a little bit of crunch on my fish when I'm eating it. So we're gently going to just pan-sear the tofu before adding it into the ingredients. So instead of using olive oil, like I said, I'm fancy. I'm going to use coconut oil. Coconut is also very good for you. So I am also just going to use, like I said, about a tablespoon of coconut oil. I'm old school, so I just eyeballed it. That is my guesstimation of a tablespoon of coconut oil. So there we go. I have already preheated the pan. So we're just gonna get that here melted. I'm gonna increase the heat a little bit. And like I mentioned, just to slightly grease the pan, and we're gonna get the tofu in here, okay? Give us that nice and luscious crunch that we would like, okay? So I'm just gonna add them into the pan. Like I mentioned, you don't have to brown them, okay? I am just going to simply fry it up. Once you're done frying it, you will not get rid of the juice or the marinade that you've made, because that is what is going to be incorporated into this amazing Brazilian tofu stew. I know. So like I mentioned, pan searing it, I would say about 2 minutes on each shot and on each side. Let's talk about some of the health benefits of tofu, right? Why shouldn't we? Tofu, if you didn't know, or I've mentioned it before, is a very good plant source of protein. It also has iron and calcium. It is also a very good source of fiber. It has been linked to lower your chances of developing cardiovascular disease and, of course, drum roll please, diabetes. Because what are we? Type diabetes. So we're here to help you prevent, manage your diabetes. So tofu is linked to basically preventing your chances of type 2 diabetes. Reason being, it is very high in protein. It is low fat. Tofu is also low cholesterol, and because of that, if you recall going to your family doctor, they normally talk about good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. So tofu has higher level of the good cholesterol, the HDL, and lower levels of the LDL. Tofu is also great for you ladies out there who want to keep your wrinkles at bay. Reason being, it has a protein. Protein is also linked to help with your skin elasticity and tone. It is also good for hair loss because what? Your hair is chiefly made up of protein. So it adds to the volume of your hair, the texture and the luster of your hair. See, my hair is so luscious on eating tofu. And tofu is also great to help manage your high blood pressure. Reason being, it has peptides in there, and those peptides are linked to anti-inflammatory properties. So once you decrease inflammation, you automatically what? Decrease the pressure on your blood vessel, which will automatically help you to lower your chances of having high blood pressure. Let's get in here and flip these bad boy over. As you can see, you don't have to necessarily brown them. You just want to give it a little bit of a crunch, you know? And my grandma always said, a little bit of oil ain't hurt nobody. And I said a little bit, okay? So don't go deep frying these bad boys. Look at this. It's nice, browned. It's gonna give your meal an amazing crunch. Look at the color. Beautiful. Smells great because you have all fresh ingredients. You have the nice lemon and of course garlic. As you can see, the garlic is already in here. So we'll let it continue frying for just a little bit more. All right, so now we're going to combine our onions. We're going to add our bell peppers. Like I said, I love colors. So all of this combined together. We have 2 diced tomatoes right in here. And we're gonna go in and add our tomato paste. This is just to give it color, okay? I used 2 tablespoons. I did measure this one, okay? Didn't eyeball this one, but that's because I had a tablespoon measurement. So there we go. We're just going to mix that up together. Smells great, guys, not even lying. You can decide to add your cilantro at this time. Oh, by the way, I learned today that cilantro is called coriander. Didn't know that. Sorry, I'm from Belize. We're gonna go ahead and we're going to add your marinade or the juice from marinating, okay? So we're gonna add that in there, okay? Now we're going to add the coconut milk. This is 3/4 cups. Again, I did not eyeball this one, okay? I actually measured it. Now I'm going to add the cilantro. I like a lot of cilantro. The recipe only calls for about 2 tablespoons. If you can actually go in and measure it in tablespoon version, but yeah, what I did was I just add a lot of cilantro. So look, as you can see, the nice color, the coconut milk flavor, the cilantro is all coming together. Now we're going to go ahead and put back the tofu, cover it, and let it simmer for about 5 to 8 minutes. All right, there you go. That is your fish pieces. Now, if I spoke Portuguese, I would tell you, interestingly, I do speak a Portuguese dialect, but I don't want to butcher the language, but I will attempt to pronounce it in Portuguese. So this recipe is called the moqueca de pigs. That probably came out horribly wrong. I apologize for all my Portuguese-speaking friends watching this show. Feel free to comment below and let me know how horribly I did at pronouncing that. But yes, we're just gonna let this simmer down for about, I would say, 8 to 10 minutes, even 5 to 10, especially because we had already what I call pan-seared the tofu. Guys, I'm not lying, it smells amazing. So there you have it, a nice, hearty, home-cooked meal for you and your entire family. If you have any questions, please comment below, reach out to Type Diabetes. Of course, I want to see you making this recipe. So for those of you taking part in our portion control coming up on May 28th, make sure to post your videos. I want to see you and your family indulging in this amazing meal. I want to know how it turned out. I want to know how it tastes. So let us know, please. All right, let's get over here and look. Ooh, do you see that? Oh, smells amazing. Okay, we let it stew down for about 10 to 15 minutes in total. Again, I'm gonna go in and taste test. Like I mentioned, I'm an old school cook, so I do it in my hand. Amazing, honestly. Let's go and serve this bad boy in a plate so I can tell you about the texture of the tofu, what to expect. Look at this bowl of goodness. All fresh flavors, okay? Oh, so good. You're able to smell nice coriander, not cilantro, okay? Oh, guys. The only thing is missing is pepper. Some good old Murray Sharps, if you know what I mean. So guys, there you have it. Don't forget to check the link down below for the recipe and also information on how to get you one of these bad boys, okay? And of course, if you're looking for an Epicure agent, we have the information down below. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Again, thank you guys for joining me. I'm Mystery, and we're cooking with Type Diabetes.